Let me say good morning. Let me say good morning for the second time around. How is everybody doing? Hope all is well. Good Wednesday morning. It's the 14th day of September, 2022. Welcome to another edition of To The Point. I hope all is well with our listeners and viewers out there. Let's talk about viewers this morning. Those of you viewing via GBN TV, whether it's Channel 7, Channel 11, or Channels 20. I want to wish you folks all the best today, and certainly hope all is well with you. Those of you who are listening via terrestrial radio this morning, whether you're in the northern part of the island, the southern part of the island, our sister isles this morning, Carriacou, Petit Martinique, hope all is well with you. Welcome to The Point for today. Let me say good morning to our social media audience this morning, especially those of you via the Facebook page. I want to wish you all the best. Don't forget to share the live while you tap in this morning and you're tuning in. Share the live. I'm GT. I'll be around with you just for a couple of minutes this morning. Should I say a couple of minutes? Yeah. I could probably say that. I'll be wrapping up a bit earlier this morning than usual for To The Point for today. And reasons is because we'll be carrying CPL, the CPL games, and that comes up for you just around 10 a.m. this morning. So get things prepared. So I'll be wrapping up just around 10 minutes or so before the top of the hour so we can carry the CPL for you. So get ready for that. It's an open line for today, which means callers, you folks, the listeners and viewers today, you have the option of calling in this morning, share your views, share your concerns, and certainly be giving you a listening ear as usual. Yeah, I'll just listen to what you have to say this morning. Probably will comment in between, of course, depending on what is said. So it's an open line, 435-2041, that's the number. You probably have that bit of concern. Yesterday we had the post-cabinet press briefing. There's probably something that was said within there that you wanted to chime in on this morning. You probably want to comment on something the Prime Minister said. You want to do that. Certainly you have an option of doing that this morning here on To The Point. And also, folks, those of you via our social media page, I want to say good morning once again. Don't forget you have the option of sharing your comments via the Facebook page this morning. And I certainly will welcome that. Let me say good morning to Courtney Paul from Trinidad and Tobago. I thank you for chiming in this morning via the Facebook page, and certainly welcome. Good morning to Cal Thompson. You certainly have an issue with me, sir. Good morning to you. You're just, of course, just to make me smile all the time. Anyway, let's go ahead and take our very first caller. Caller, good morning. How you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Well, I'm calling for the To The Point program.
Yes, you're live.
All right. I want to make a couple comments. First of all, we have a new dispensation. Mm-hmm. And I was listening on Monday, and the lady came in, and she brought in a correspondent from from GBN. And the Queen died, and he said that the Queen was 98, she was 96. This morning I was listening to a quote again from GIS, and the young lady said that the budget last year was $1.3 million, and that was $1.3 billion. So I say all of that to say that our journalist has to be correct with the information, because we're in a misinformation world. Mm-hmm. And finally, I want to comment on the press conference yesterday. I was listening to all the ceiling with the cap and the gas and everything, and also with the situation with the National Insurance Scheme. I'm okay with the situation with the National Insurance Scheme because, in fact, I'm the person who picketed the National Insurance Scheme sometime about 2 or 3 years ago. So I understand what is happening with the National Insurance Scheme. It's a pity that the previous government didn't act on the things that were submitted to them for saving the scheme. I would hope that those things will be taken into consideration so that persons who are pensionable and living and try to continue living and have a quality life after serving the country, that situation will be fixed. Right. And also, finally, I would like to say that I was listening to the Prime Minister speaking about capping this and capping that and capping this and capping that. It is my fervent view that one of the serious situations in Grenada is the salaries that people receive for their work, for their labor. The previous administration had a ceiling on salaries. So I will hope that this administration would remove the cap on salaries so persons could get a little more money, and that would help them to alleviate some of the things that the government wants to implement. It would also give the opportunity for the National Insurance Scheme to collect more money from persons who are receiving more salaries, because the government just came in and they increased their salary. I see it moved from 6,300 and something to 9,000 and how much? I don't know if that from Linda Straker's media put up. Mm-hmm. I saw that the salary was 6,300 and something and it gone to 9,300 and something. And she also intimated that they're receiving a $2,600 increase or for petroleum or for what other things. So I say all of that to say that I want to suggest that seeing that they're removing caps on this and they're removing caps on this, they must also remove the cap on government salaries to make things much more easier for citizens in Grenada. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment this morning. Call 435-2041, 435-2041. That's a number you can simply call to be part of To The Point for today. You can share your concerns, share your information pertaining to any issue that is of course, you want to speak about this morning. You have that option of doing so. Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning to you, Colin. How are you?
Good morning, GT.
Good morning.
How are you doing, my brother?
Doing okay, sir.
I have a problem. What a concern what happened to yesterday. Yesterday, well, I live in the northeast area, right? Mm-hmm. Apparently now, that I'm so proposing it, maybe have done some work on some line. Huh?
Yes.
During the day because the water went, right? But GT, when the water came back, the water came black and dirty. What I'm saying is that if NASA works on the line, right, and you bring back for the water for people, flush the line first with your valve, and then give people water. Man, 4 minutes. 4 minutes I have to let the water running constantly to get cleaner, and that costs it. So I am asking now to do better on that next time. When you do anything, flush the system first before you use the water. You understand, my brother?
I understand where you're calling from, because then if you have to let it flush for your own self, it's a cost for you because it goes through your metering system.
It's not just 1 minute, 4 minutes. And I think I said, man, because you must put it at full blast because that water it would take longer.
Probably you have to get a building, right?
I just want to do better next time.
All right, but understand. Right? Hopefully you'll look into that. All right. 435-2041, 435-2041. Yeah, I understand where the caller is coming from, because when you have to let it run for a period of time, I guess your meter's running. You understand why that is happening. I understand. 435-2041. We do have another caller. Let's go over to the phone line. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
Good. GT, maybe good as you.
I'm doing good.
Yeah, good to add to the exuberance of the spirit of our people.
Mm-hmm.
Let me say that we reap what we sow. And when we don't do things that we ought to do when we need to do it, we pay the consequence. And number the problem that we are being confronted with right now has its origin in the past. I listened to some of the private sector people speaking lately, and one of the consistent points that have been made, at least by one of them, is that the advice that was given to the past regime was ignored. Some of the crisis situation that we are facing could have been minimized had steps been taken. In relation to the NIS situation, I mean, I know for years people been saying, callers been calling about, the amount of money they're getting because of the increasing cost of living and what they was getting. Yet at the same time, the actuary was saying that, look, if you continue as is without making some changes, then the scheme will become, ineffective. Mm-hmm. At the same time, we had the previous government doing what they call a haircut, scheming about. I don't want to use the most word, but pillaging or taking money from the INS to make the government look good in terms of for their waywardness in the debt they had incurred. which resulted in us going to the IMF. I have a criticism for the GBN. I've tried to be short, but one of the things I would like GBN personnel to do is to help us to understand. In fact, GBN radio is the only radio I listen to. Trust me. But sometimes as I've done in the past, I have taken a holiday from listening because sometimes it really frustrates you that some of the pertinent issues that when people are left worse off by listening to GBN. So I would urge that as much as possible, personnel in GBN who have to interact with the public inform themselves fairly enough so that they can come and give people information or even help to guide them as how sometimes you do and a couple other people do, so that the misunderstanding or the ignorance that some of us find ourselves will be clarified, will be cleared up. And that is not the case. Also, we need to put things in context. There are certain things that is said on the radio, and if it's not put in context, then people are being misled. Finally, the issue of the MIP, I thought we would make this a really major issue because of the implication of governance. And this, we should be calling for an inquiry, similar type inquiry, into the Postal Corporation and the gravel and concrete. Those things that have been, a lot of things have not been done properly over the years. Thank you, GT, for your indulgence.
All right, thank you for your contribution this morning also. 435-2041, 435, and taking a peek at the Facebook comment page this morning. Looking at the comments, not seeing anything that I need to throw out that is relevant for now. Until something comes up, I'll throw that out. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning and welcome to The Point this morning.
Yes, good morning. I want to speak a little on NIS. I want us to realize that NIS was established by the poor working people, the little agriculture people. Mm-hmm. The little money spill over to the NIS. NIS invest in the little money. They make, but they only holding on the little that you put, but the little that start up NIS. Look at some of the workers, sometimes the poor agriculture workers, they go to work with a little job. Sometimes when you look at it, you say their clothes come out in a cow mode, 40 ramper, to make their little money. Look at these people and them now, they have uniform every year. They have their car park. So some adjustment has to make too. I don't know if they have too much workers or what the case may be. Why is only the little people, little contribution they're beating up on, and this is the little people that start this NIS. And this NIS has been designed for what the government take it and make this NIS designed for the little people. Then they come out in the field and they didn't have anything. They don't have no energy more. They get a little money to buy their little medication and they get a little money to buy their food. Mm-hmm. But now they take it and they invest. They get how much? And look at, just imagine a poor person, $180-something a month. You could go with that. When the month carries 5 Mondays, you get $200.
All right.
Come on, something has to be done with this NIS, with the people, and I want us to remember is the little money that start and establish, not 1,000, 5,000 salary that start the NIS, is the little money that start up from the state come up. That is what established the NIS, and we're supposed to get better. If you sit now, $185 to buy medication.
All right, caller. Thanks for your contribution this morning.
All right.
All right. 435-2041. We're coming back with more of your comments after the break.
Solar lights are back in.
We're the hands and it's a Caribbean. We're the hands. As GBN brings you coverage of this year's Hero CPL, there will be some adjustments to our programming lineup. On Tuesday 13th and Wednesday 14th September 2022, transitions will be at 5:05 p.m. GBN TV News will be at 6 p.m. and repeated right after the CPL match. Transitions will be rebroadcast after the GBN News repeat. GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere with sports coverage.
Wait to see my granddaughter.
So we're back here on To The Point. Good morning to our listeners once again via K105 and GBN TV, our social media audience. Also, good morning to you, especially those of you via the Facebook page. Good morning. Lots of comments. The folks are having their own little discussion right in with him there. Certainly we'll be getting to some of the comments there shortly. Let's take a phone call. Good morning to you, caller. How are you? Welcome back to The Point this morning. How are you? Good morning to you, caller. Well, I guess that caller is not ready for us as yet. Hey, folks, so we'll be discussing this morning. Of course, it's open line, and lots of folks already chiming a lot on the, of course, the post-cabinet press briefing that took place yesterday. Lots of folks are talking about what the PM did speak about in turning to removal of the cap on fuel, removal of that 25% on electricity, and so forth. So you have the option of chiming in on that this morning. Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning to you, caller.
Oh, yes, good morning to you, JT. How are you today?
Doing good, sir. Doing good.
Right, you have a good day. No, I listened to the press briefing of the cabinet press briefing, and there's a number of pointers there, but one thing that have me very, very concerned is the NIS matter. Mm-hmm. There was a prediction of the NIS demise more than 40 years ago in a discussion with the general manager then and myself, and exactly what is happening today. The NIS will be defunct if we can't create contributors. With respect to the new qualifying age for pensioners, I think that is a no-no. You see, how do you keep a frail person at 60 up to 64, where the production will be low, and you're having young people 18 to 30 waiting for jobs? When these people go, the age go, because look at the death rate now, is the age of the death rate is very high. Mm-hmm. Young people are dying, this as far as I consider, it's more young people that's dying. Now if the young people is dying and the old people cannot produce, then what will happen? The only thing that will solve that problem is the economy. You've got to create jobs. If you don't create jobs, you will not have the revenue. So I don't understand how keeping people in the service longer, non-productive, leaving the productive people out of a job will solve the problem. It will not solve the problem except you create jobs. The economy must be able to create jobs, to create new contributors as people retire. I'm saying people should retire at 50.
So, caller, just to cut you. So, you're saying you're not in agreement in terms of increasing the age range?
Can't be increased, because you see, if a person at 60 is frail, is fragile, how do you keep them there at 64 with the same salary? not producing. It does not make sense. And then you have young people outside who will produce much better, not getting a job. And if you can't get a job at 18 to 20, 25, what would your life be at 40? To retire at 50 and 60? What would it be? So it just does not add up. The only thing that will solve that problem, as I said, is to create jobs. The economy have to be able to create jobs to allow the NIS to keep functioning. Other than that, the NIS definitely will go under. And that was predicted, I said, more than 40 years ago. So I don't know how they cannot work it out.
All right. Thank you for your contribution this morning, caller. Thank you so much. Well, some folks may take the caller to task of that, but I certainly do understand where he's coming from, because there are individuals who still can go very strong in terms of work and so forth, even beyond the age of 60 or 65. So. And yes, I understand where he's coming from, but sometimes there are individuals at that age who still have the opportunity to work and work as someone with even at a younger age. Good morning to you, caller. How are you? Caller, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Go right ahead with your contribution, please.
Hello, good morning.
Caller, good morning. Go ahead with your contribution. Would you mind lowering your radio in the background, please? We may have to come back to you, caller, because you seem to have your radio in the background playing, and you could listen to me via the telephone and not via the whatever device that you do have playing in the back. Could be a television or the radio. Remember, it's always going to be a delayed broadcast, so sometimes you may hear me saying some after you may have been listening. All right, so let's go back to the phone. Caller, good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you going?
Doing good, sir. What about you?
Trying to make life comfortable.
Go right ahead.
Yeah, one of the things that I am satisfied with the press conference yesterday is when you have people in trouble and we have to put our backs to the wheel to bring back the economy better. I was glad to hear that the government was sharing some of the burden rather than taking privileges for themselves. So I was satisfied with the gas business, how it was handled. I was satisfied that even though ministers are getting a $2,000 for the Prime Minister seat fit to say, I don't want that money in my pocket because I'm getting a state driver. The past administration had bleed the country through this gas business for a long, long time. That Central Police Station giving gas to their friends and others free at the benefit or at the state money that could have helped in doing something better for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. But I still wish that the government of the day put some checks and balances with that Central Police Station. That even though they get gas, they must have a kind of accountable system, how they even give it to their own police friends and what they do with it for the benefit of the country, because gas is very expensive. My second point is on the Grenlec issue. The price of electricity gone up a long time ago. And for the man to be saying on a radio station this morning that they're recapping, they're going to put back the 25% that they reduced from, I believe that they cannot do such a thing until government gives them permission to do it. I am still suspect of the Grenlec that we are supposed to have locally is not fully working in the benefit of our people. And in all the Caribbean countries, Grenada is one of the highest in electricity. So there are some laws and some things that the present administration have to look into Grenlec and to show, I don't know if the salaries that the people getting is too much. I know what they're doing with the money. How come electricity is so high in Grenada that businesses cannot afford to run business because of the high cost of electricity? Something has to be done where governments have to even make laws so that they themselves, government, have to pay Grenlec so much money for the lights and the things that they give for the benefit of Grenada. So I think that they have to go back to the drawing board so that Grenadians could benefit by what Grenlec is doing coming out of a situation right here in Grenada. Thank you very much for your...
Thank you also for your contribution this morning. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's the number for you to get on the inside. Good morning to you, caller. How are you?
Good morning, GT.
Good morning.
A caller previously alluded to we in the age of information and misinformation. this last caller made some reference to the ministers, former ministers of the NMP going to the police station and getting gas. And you see what misinformation is given on a daily basis on certain radio programs. There were regulations for the ministers of the former administration to get gas. There was $200 a week, which is $800 a month. Mm-hmm. And there are police officers that can clarify that. You guys can do some investigative journalism and find that. You see, there are things being said on radio, and we take it as a gospel truth. We run with it because a man said, and he tell you that, and you tell you that, and once you saturate it every day, it's going to happen. The ministers' travel allowance go to $2,000. Why they are not saying that also, added to that, that the ministers that who do not drive or who do not have a license will be also required to get a driver for $2,006. Who is paying for that? They are going and sign their contract today. So when we give information, let me get all the information. Don't give some of the story and some of what we want to hear because it's nice. It's a new government. I agree they're doing the best. Let they do what they're doing. Finally, the cell phone bills that they say they take off the landline, which I agree because based on how the current construction of flow is, once you have a landline and current gone or electricity is gone, your landline may not be working, which I agree is nonsense. But landline bills is basically like $99, $100 a month. I want to know what is the cap for the cell phone bills for these new ministers because they make a big hullabaloo about Sheldon Scott. So let me hear what we're going to know. Have a good day.
Thank you for your contribution, sir. 435-2041, 435-2041. And your phone calls are welcome. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
Good morning, I'm good. One of the previous callers did stole the comment I wanted to make, but I want to reiterate the point that he made and make a second point. I would ask you, as the host this morning, when I'm calling on GBN and I'm asking you to convey my message, because I don't know who I can contact in GBN to do that. We need to have hosts who are knowledgeable about basic things, basic, elementary stuff. This morning I heard some comments on the radio, and trust me, the person who was hosting that program, to me, was relinquishing his responsibility as a host who's supposed to guide people when they are making statements that is not true. I mean, I look at international news, and some of those hosts are lawyers, they are doctors, they are qualified personnel, and I was asking myself why, and I'm now coming to the conclusion is because of that very basic need for information to be truthful. So when someone make a statement, the person who is hosting the program can say, hey, no, that statement is not correct. This may, you cannot, these things are being heard all over the world. We have internet. So when you let people make statements that are so grossly incorrect, people are listening to that all over. And the host of the program is not saying anything by correcting them because some of them maybe they don't want to interject, the callers, or they don't have no knowledge of what is happening. And I think that is sad. Additionally, just let me make one quick point. In relation to the decision made by the government yesterday, some of the pro-announcement that was made, I heard a caller alluding to some of the decisions there and why they didn't explain what and what and what. Let me tell you something. The past administration really was abusing, and that may be a simple word, abusing the positions. Why? When you are in positions of government as a minister, you have certain responsibilities that goes with you. And yes, under your ministry, you have a lot of people. And you may not be responsible for everything that they do, the people there, but you have to take ultimate responsibility as a minister of government. Because he's like a manager. If something happened to a clerk at a store, you as the manager, you have to take ultimate responsibility. So why can't it happen in the public service as well? So a lot of abuse used to take place in relation to a lot of things. The cell phone issue, the gas, everything. But what the government is now instituting is basic to the ministers of government. And people, there are some persons out there who are just trying to make mischief as to everything that the government put their hands on. We know why, but people, I want to make a plea to you all. There are a lot of people in Guyana who understand what is happening. We have a knowledge of what used to happen before. So please, don't go on the radio and make it feel like if it is some, high-handed thing and it is an abuse and look, you have to make comparison. There is no comparison to be made with the last administration and this one in compared to things that they are doing. I want to ask you to have a good morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, caller, for your contribution. 435-2041, 435-2041. We are going to take another caller. Good morning to you, caller. How are you?
Good morning. All right, and you?
I'm doing okay.
Yesterday I listened to the government and the ministers. I don't find anything wrong with what they said, At least they came and they were trying to adjust situations. And this situation with the pension and the age, I see nothing wrong with that. At least they have to do something because of what they explain. People have to understand and listen and understand. There are things they have to do in order to adjust situation to make things work for the betterment. So humble yourself and learn to respect those that are in authority and accept what they're doing for all your benefits. Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution also. 435-2041. We're taking your phone calls, and I'm giving you a listen here this morning. I'm certainly listening to what the callers have to say. Let's take another caller. Good morning to you, caller, and how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I listened to the press conference yesterday, and I was very happy with what I'm hearing. And I had no problem with the age of 65 because at the end of the day, some of them when they retire 60, they're strong, they could walk. So I had no problem bringing it to 65. It is welcome.
All right, thank you.
All right, bye.
435-2041. We're taking your phone calls, and we're coming right back after the break with more of your phone calls. May I remind you once again, we'll be wrapping up the program a bit earlier than usual this morning to accommodate the CPL cricket. Stay with us here on K105 and the GBN TV. We're coming right back.
We believe this new virus spreads mostly from person to person through respiratory droplets produced when someone who is sick coughs or sneezes. This is similar to how flu and other respiratory illnesses spread. These droplets can land in the mouth or nose of people nearby, or possibly be inhaled into the lungs. Most person-to-person spread happens when people are in close contact. It's also possible that this virus can spread when someone touches a contaminated surface and then touches the mouth, nose, or eyes.
Mr. mentioned the wing kai, then you have things like Manumos, must come back, We have the low power there.
It is kind of like the same man, and it's just different name for the same kind of thing.
And last but not least, I just want to say to all the men who saw me, call me, and ask for a piece of cake. I'm baking this weekend.
Join us Fridays at 8 on GBN Television, K105 FM, GBN's Facebook page, and YouTube channel for We Culture.
welcome back. One and all, once again, it's To The Point for today, Wednesday, the 14th of September. Let's go back to the phone lines and see who's on the line this morning. Good morning to you, caller. How are you?
Yes, Mr. Teniswal, good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Teniswal, I cannot help but refer to the Word of God. Now, no human being knows the future. Nobody knows 10 seconds in the future. Now, that is why God says, if any man lack wisdom, let him ask of God. Our alienation from God puts us in a lot of trouble. And as a nation that says in the anthem, ever conscious of God, we're not hearing that God consciousness coming through to people who make contributions. We're not hearing that God consciousness. And God, the Prime Minister and his ministers and whichever government, whether the part of the president, need wisdom from God. Because God knows tomorrow. He knows because you might want to make a decision that you think is so good. And God will tell you, well, tomorrow something's going to happen and that will be disastrous. So don't make that decision. God gives wisdom. People pray, seek the face of God. Pray for the administration that God will guide and direct them.
All right,
we don't know tomorrow. When I was working, it was 60 years. I still was getting my pension at 60 and I worked until 65 because I had a mortgage to pay. So sometimes we never tell what will happen. We need God. People, we need God. Pray. Turn to God. Repent. Ask Him to take control and pray for your government.
Thanks for your contribution this morning, caller. Thank you so much. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's the number for you to be part of the calling program this morning here on GBN and, of course, GBN TV and K105. Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning to you, caller.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Telford, some people just keep calling the radio station about God, 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 and they hate their brothers and sisters.
All right, caller, thank you very so much. I'm not sure the reason why you saying that, which I doesn't want to get into, but say what? Thanks for your contribution. 435-2041, 435-2041. Let's go to the phone line. Caller, good morning, and how are you? Good morning to you, caller.
Yes, good morning to you, sir. Sorry for coming back. Just permit me. No, it just seems to do people understanding the logic of the NIS, you know. You have to be explaining, it takes a lot of time. Keeping people at work at 65, 64 will not cause the government to save money. Government will lose money because aged people cannot produce as well as they should. So once you're paying up a high salary, you have people outside who will contribute more, who will produce more, and then government will get a saving. Government cannot save by keeping people. What is the length of time would anyone like to live after they retire? Would you want them to die on the job? Would you keep somebody in the job for 64, 65 and they die on the job? What time would they have to enjoy the lean years with the grandchildren and great-grandchildren? What time are you giving them? Out of the office to the grave? That to me is not right. And people have to understand at that level, if you get these people out so they could relax, maybe 2 or 3 years after they retire, but you put somebody in there more productive than they, government going to be saving. And that's the logic of it. So keeping them there, in order government going to be losing money instead of making money.
All right, caller.
And that's what I want people to understand. It's not I'm against. I want people to stay because they're young. I mean, say at 60 they could work. Yes, they might be similarly stronger. But look at how the age people are dying now. Pay attention to that. 30s, 20s, to the 50s, only 70s.
Caller, thank you for your contribution. All right, 435-2041, 435-2041. Don't forget we get CPL cricket coming up here on GBN TV and K105 at 10 a.m. this morning. So roughly we have about 10 more minutes left on the program this morning, and we suddenly could accommodate another caller. Let's go back to the phone line. Good morning to you, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, what I want to talk about is what's going on in the school today with kids, the cyberbullying. I have little knowledge of computering, but for the first time my neighbor's son goes to school, and believe me, it's a terrible thing for that child. somebody screenshot him, and then they take some animals and caveman and thing and put beside him. That child is not sleeping. I know for sure. I've seen the light in his bedroom, and I went over and I called the mother and I said to her, what happened? And then she telling me, look at what happened, and she's monitoring him. She told me she went to the school, which was really good. That's a good thing, and they're trying to track what's going on. But it's not a right thing for children to be doing others that. The child is traumatized. And I'm so sorry for that lady. She cried to me and tell me, this thing, people have to address it. They have to get counseling in, because these young children are not thinking as we 50-something-year-old people. They're not thinking as that. They just do what they have to do, and they think it's fun, spoiling the future for these little children and them.
All right.
It's really painful. So if we could put it out there, get the parents to talk to the children, because they are parents and they are parents. And I'm emphasizing on that. Please, thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution this morning, caller. Certainly a serious issue there. I certainly know of individuals who going through that particular issue that the caller have just alluded to, pertaining to where individuals are taking pictures of individuals and, of course, just doing whatever they want with it. And these things have consequences. And as you said, parents may need to look into what their sons and daughters are getting into. All right, just to get at others. Good morning to you, caller. How are you? I'm all right.
Okay. My gripe is like, if all the small islands move off from the Queen, right? They go on, on their own. Which they said they wasn't getting money, which they get money, but they don't get as what they used to get. Because if you have a lot of children to give, you have to give everybody a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. Because we got some money to do the whole walk, go up to the road right up to Tez, and they don't do nothing as that yet. The only part that wasn't in it is the piece in Mauritania, right? They do nothing with that yet. But if everybody goes on their own, like Jamaica, Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago, like we Grenada, if we go on our own, what will happen if we're going to stay on the EC dollar, or if we go get our own dollar and we go end up like Guyana with bread cost $500, Jamaica, a pound corn beef $400, and those kind of things. If we move out, what going to happen? Because we don't have nothing much here. What's going to happen to it?
So, caller, you saying you're not supportive of Grenada becoming a republic on its own?
Well, that's what I'm saying. What's going to happen? Because we don't have nothing much. What's going to happen to us? Because if we make our own dollar, what's going to happen to us? Because remember, look what happened to Guyana. They have oil. Trinidad have oil. Jamaica, bauxite, and other things. And look where the dollar reached. What's going to happen to us? Right now, the dollar is very strong. 2.71 is very strong to the U.S. But if we go on our own, what will happen to us?
Well, I understand where you're calling from, caller, and thanks for your contribution this morning.
You're welcome.
All right. 435-2041. We still got time to accommodate a couple more calls before we wrap the show up this morning here on K105. Let's go back to the phone line and take another caller. Good morning to you, caller.
Yeah, morning, GT.
Hey, good morning. How are you doing?
Yeah, man, cool, man. I think one of the main issues that the government supposed to look at is minimum wage.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at it.
When you say look at minimum wage, what are you looking for? An increase in the minimum wage?
Because look, you are actually working for the same money for how much years, and the cost of living keep rising like every day. So you are paying more in the supermarket, for groceries, gas, everything just keeps skyrocketing, but your salary remains there. So then how would you be able to sustain yourself and your family with the same minimum wage you are getting and goods are going up? And I think the government is supposed to be taking a very, very hard look at that, the minimum wage people are getting,
all right,
especially in the private sector.
Okay,
because hello,
is that our caller for this morning?
Yeah, basically, because it's since in 2011. They had a look at their minimum wage. Where security got a little something more. But then when you look at it, it's been over 10, 11 years
And there's been
no government
no further adjustment to it.
No further adjustment, and I think that's one of the main reasons that a lot of us are suffering.
All right. Thanks for your contribution. 435-2041, 435. We just have about 5 minutes or so left on the program this morning here to the point. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
Good morning, brother. How you doing?
Doing all right.
That's what I'm saying yesterday. Now, you have $100,000 in the bank. The bank giving you 2% interest on your savings, right? Then the same bank turn around and tell you they're giving you 4% on a loan, right? You take that loan because we Grenadians, we like to save. So we take that loan, buy our properties, and flip it. So say you take a loan of $200,000 on your $100,000. You buy up a couple houses or a couple pieces of land. You can cut up this land and sell it in pieces, in lots, and make maybe $100,000 profit within a year. But you cannot make that in the bank, because the bank will give you 2% interest. So it doesn't make any sense saving money in banks, because you cannot leave on that money in the bank. That's the point I'm trying to make. Yeah, the banks are not helping people. Basically, to say save your money. The bank is telling you, want to take my money instead. So we need to take money from the bank. We need to, as Grenadians, take money and invest it instead of saving. Because we have a tendency of saving, which...
I guess we lost that caller there. 435-2041, 435-2041. That's a number you can certainly call to be part of To The Point for today. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just calling to see. We work with the sanitizers. Since June, up to now, we don't get paid for the month of July. We have children to go to school.
You said you work with this. You said you work with the sanitizers.
The people that sanitize.
Who were sanitizing the schools were saying you haven't been paid as yet.
Up to now, they don't pay us.
All right.
We want the money. We have children to go to school.
Well, caller, I hope that your concern has been heard by whoever is responsible for taking care of you being paid. Let's go back to the phone line. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
Hey, good morning, GT.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, sir. I just calling because I have a very serious problem with the justice system here in Grenada.
Justice system. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and the police and the station. A few months ago, sir, I was assaulted, threatened, and my property was damaged, by a prominent attorney called Jerry Edwin here in Grenada. I took the matter to the police station, the South Police Station, made a report and gave a statement, and asked for court action. Last month, I was called by the police officer and told me that I have a court matter. I went to the court in St. George's, hoping that I will meet my defendant, Jerry Edwin, at the court. Get to realize that no charges was filed against this attorney. But in fact, the charges were put on his bodyguard. I immediately called back the police station in South St. George, and I went there. As a matter of fact, the chief who's in charge, that is Inspector Charles, refused to see me. Refused. I realized I cannot get through with him. I get to the phone and I call the station where I was able to speak with him. And this officer, who is there to protect and serve the citizens of this country, told me that he has nothing to do with it and he don't want to hear anything about this case. I asked him, well, look, you are the person in charge. How do you want to evade yourself from this great responsibility? I filed the charges here and no charges have been filed. I do not know if Mr. Edwin, the rule of law in Grenada do not apply to him, or if he can do anything with impunity and suffer the citizens of this country. I want to call on the Commissioner of Police, the Attorney General, the Bar Association, Mr. Derek Sylvester, to really investigate this matter. I'm hurt. My skin was threatened by Jerry Edwin. My clothes were torn up by Jerry Edwin. I was abused by Jerry Edwin. And nobody wanted to come to my rescue. But I want Jerry Edwin to know that he has a grave responsibility to take care of what he did. I would not go into detail. Maybe in the right time, expose this gentleman for what he did with my uncle's property. And because of that, he feels he can abuse me and my family, threaten my life and my family, and there will be no charge to fall against him, because I believe that the police officer is cooperating with him against me. My name is Yasin Kibawi. My phone number is 520-8076. I need to hear from the authority in regard to Jerry Edwin, because I say this, and I will say it publicly, that if the court and the institution of justice would refuse to look into this matter, I want to let Jerry Edwin know that divinely, spiritually, I have two other options. One, to forgive him for what he has done to me. And secondly, I have the right to give him or return to him equal to that of what he put out to me. And I am waiting on the justice system to really, give me a reply why Jerry Edwin cannot be charged in the South St. George Police Station. So, Mr. GT, I would like one of them in high authority in this country to please respond to me and let me know what's happening.
Thank you for your contribution this morning, caller.
Yes, I have a letter.
All right. 435, we still can accommodate probably one more caller in this segment before we take a wrap for this morning. I did mention that we'll be wrapping up with earlier than usual this morning because to accommodate the CPL cricket coming up for you at the top 10. Let's take our final caller before we wrap for this morning. Caller, good morning, and how are you?
Good morning, GT. I'm fine. It's been too long now since these people have been calling about getting paid for sanitizing schools.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about it is these people are not going to the person who's supposed to pay them. They were employed by faith organization and a particular government minister. So something that is very baffling me. These people claim they love people, and they rip the country of thousands of dollars. You see, 300 and something thousand, etc. Why are they not paying these people who sanitize in schools? This is a big question.
All right.
So I think it's time that all the people who sanitize get together and go in front of that woman church on a Sunday morning with their placards and demand their money. Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution this morning. Folks, we're getting set to wrap up to the point for today. I want to take a time out to thank all who called in and contributed towards the program this morning. Those of you who sat home and you listened to the program this morning, I want to thank you so much. Thank you so much. Those of you who viewed via GBN TV, listened via K105, thank you so much. Those of you who shared your comments, of course, via the Facebook page, the comment section, I want to thank you so much for that also. Until we have another edition of To The Point, which hopefully will be tomorrow, I want you to have yourself a great day. All the best. Hey, coming up at the top of the hour, don't forget, folks, CPL Cricket here on K105 and GBN TV. All the best. Until tomorrow.